A little bit late for Ask a Rabbi Wednesday. It's actually Thursday today. I had a question from one of my patients actually last week. We addressed it yesterday a little bit, and it's gonna take a little bit longer than the time I have right now to really fully address this question. But the question was basically, what's the link between mental health and spirituality and psychology and spirituality, really, in a sense? It's not really a question of mental health as much as a question of psychology in general. You know, you can have healthy psychology also that's linked to spirituality. And another one of my patients brought this up today, that, you know, he felt that mental illness was a symptom of sin, which is something, you know, Edgar Casey has discussed and others. But the main thing, you know, that fellow was talking a lot more. It wasn't really, I didn't really get to put a word in edgewise, but yesterday I did most of the talking, and I filled up our whole 45-minute session discussing this, but right now I'm just in between jobs, so I don't have that long to speak. A gentleman who I had the honor to meet one time was Rabbi Ariel Bar Tzadok. He has a website, koshertorah.com. He's on a TV show called Ancient Aliens, sometimes on History Channel. And he's a very interesting fellow. Might not necessarily agree with 100% with everything he says, but that's part of Judaism, is that, you know, there's dissent and different opinions and different views, you know, and you're not supposed to, you know, and he certainly doesn't want people to treat him like some kind of guru, some type of Rebbe that, you know, and that, you know, everything he says is right. And he says it's ridiculous, you know, for people to think that their Rebbe is always right, which I agree, you know, that's something that's really fundamental to the Hungarian schools, like, you know, the old Samarov, he used to say that all the Rebbes think that everybody else is wrong and only they're right. But he said, I agree everyone else is wrong, but I'm also wrong. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So, right? In any event, well, that's not what the Samarov, how the Samarov understood it. That's something else, is another issue. But anyway, whatever it is, that's how it is. So in any event, the question of mental health and spirituality, Rabbi Bar Tzadok often points out, you know, I only bringing him up because I want to say David B'Shem Arimer, who I learned it from, even though it's not his at all, but he's the one who's been bringing this up into the community, that we can discuss this, because even though I went to college, I majored in psychology, we never really learned Carl Jung, and I don't know why. We didn't learn Freud either, but Jung and Freud, maybe a little bit we learned Jung, I don't really remember, but Jung and Freud had two totally different outlooks in psychology, and you know, Rabbi Bar Tzadok likes to point out how Jung was really very much into Kabbalah, even though he wasn't Jewish. Freud was Jewish, but he didn't have very much to say about religion. He wrote one book, Moses and Monotheism, but beyond that, he really didn't have anything, you know, to speak of. He wasn't a religious man. Jung, who admitted that he felt some anti-Semitism just, you know, naturally, being, you know, a German individual, it was an interesting thing. I don't really know if, you know, that's an astute observation that he was bringing there. But he was very fascinated with Judaism, and he said he had a dream that Shimon Yochai and different spheres and the chasana and all these things, that Shimon Yochai invited him to a chasana, to a wedding of different spheros. I don't remember exactly which spheros he said, but in any event, that's neither here nor there. But Jung discussed how he observed, and we're talking scientifically, putting religion aside, putting him in spirituality aside, he observed that different people with different mental illnesses were experiencing the same thing they had nothing in common culturally and so forth. And there's different possibilities, and there's many other similar studies when it comes to dreams and so forth. So I'm almost to work, so I don't really have time. I discuss it. There's different possibilities. One is that it's not really so, and it's either just they're saying so, maybe just to make the researcher happy, or which it's possible, and things like that have happened in history, like the horse who would answer math problems by clapping his foot, and then when in reality they just saw that the person gave some kind of smile or a nod that satisfied the horse to stop clapping. So maybe it's something like that. And there are other examples that I brought, but I don't have time. Maybe another time we can discuss this more in depth. Another possibility is a coincidence. Another possibility is evolutionary, although that would seem to be more like Lamarckian evolution. Although there could be a Darwinian understanding that somehow there's people who have similar DNA in their mental health are more fit to survive or something. And then the fourth possibility is that it's actually, this is how I'm positing, this is not how Rabbi Bar Tzadok taught it, but the fourth possibility, which is what Rabbi Bar Tzadok taught, is that it's indeed that they're experiencing things on another dimensional plane, which we could call spiritual realms, if we want to use traditional religious and spiritual parlance. We want to use more science or science fiction parlance. We could say that there are different dimensions or different whatever you want to use, like that, different transdimensional, or quantum physics, multiverse type of things, and that somehow we are aware of in an extrasensory perception way. My Rosh Hashiva, Rav Moshe Lazar Shlita, he explained that this would come through the Nefesh Bahamis. This is how this is why people experience deja vu, because we have a connection that we're unaware of and so forth. But it's neither here nor there right now. I got to work. I don't really have time to talk. So I want to thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll discuss this more in depth another time. God bless you. And be well, because there is, question of now what do we do with this knowledge? Does it really mean anything? We could be encountering things that are totally not worth encountering. So, anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to talking more. God bless.